Hi, welcome to Creator Weekly Live for September 15th, 2024. I'm Peggy Kay, and today there are updates for YouTube, Twitch, Google Search, AdSense, Bluesky, and a bunch more. So let's get started. Welcome to everybody who's here live. I'd love to hear what you think about this week's updates in the chat. So say hello, tell me where you're coming from today. I also wanted to share, so as some of you know, I'm a Google product expert. That means I volunteer in the Google Help communities for YouTube, AdSense, Blogger, Chat, Meet. And sometimes they send us swag. So this week I got this swag. Get that into focus. And can any of you guess what that is? It is usable as a coaster, but it is not a coaster. So while you're thinking about that, let me get started. The first update I want to talk about today is for YouTube, and they wrote an article about how you can now create a handle for your YouTube channel in one of 75 different languages. Now, this has been rolling out for the past couple of months, so it is not new, but this article sort of gives a highlight. And one of the things I wanted to point out, first of all, is that in some cases you can use two different languages in your handle. So their example has a handle that's in Japanese and English. Also, your handle is what appears when you leave comments. It doesn't show your channel name, so make sure your handle is something recognizable, something people can find, something people can remember, and not just some random string, because that looks really strange when you leave a comment. The other YouTube update I wanted to mention today is a new sticker when you're creating a YouTube short. In the Shorts editor on your mobile device, you can add an Add Yours sticker. What this does is if people click Add Yours, it opens to a screen that has everyone who participated. So you can see all the Add Yours videos, and then there's a button where you can add yours. So the whole idea of this is to increase engagement. You can say, show your favorite breakfast dish and say, add yours, and other people will hopefully add theirs in the same thing, and then it's all in one screen. So that seems kind of fun. And if you use Shorts, it's probably worth giving that a try. And the third and last YouTube update I wanted to mention has to do with promoting your videos. So if you go into YouTube Studio, on the Content tab, there's a Promotion tab. You click that, you can set up a promotion. This is paying for your video to be an ad. And so that's how you get pre-roll ads and so forth across YouTube. This is actually managed through Google Ads. So the Promotion tab in YouTube Studio is like a simplified interface for Google Ads. And you can set it up with different goals in mind. So the idea is that you can set up your promotion and you say, this is the goal of this promotion. This is why I'm paying for it. And then it kind of helps you set it up correctly. There is a new goal that they added, website visits. So You can say that your goal is to get more video views. You can say that your goal is more engagements on your videos. Now you can actually say that the purpose of the ad is for website visits. Now, this is probably not a good way to spend your money just to have views of your blog or whatever. You should have a goal. This week, YouTube also posted a video about promotions, how they work, and who should use them. And when they're talking about using the website goal, they don't actually use that term, but they say you can use the promotions to direct viewers to a specific site to buy your merch, products, concert tickets, courses, or more. So just bear in mind, if you use promotions, you should have a goal. And if you're directing to a website, there should be a purpose of directing to that website beyond just views, like selling things. So if you have a site where you are selling services, selling goods, selling tickets, you might want to give this a try. I will say that it's probably pretty easy to spend money on promotions and not get much out of it. So think about why you are promoting your video before you actually start shelling out money. And YouTube also makes very clear that any views, watch time on your videos through a promotion don't count towards eligibility for the YouTube Partner Program. So the YouTube Partner Program has a minimum number of watch hours required. You can't just promote your video to get the watch hours. You can probably get some subscribers that way, but there's no guarantee they will actually watch your videos. I'm not sure that's actually good use of your money. So those are this week's YouTube updates. Andrew says he knows what this item is because he got one last year. And he says, I think different communities are sending different swag. Molly got a t-shirt. Now, I'm pretty sure that they have some kind of master list of which swag they've sent to which people. And they try and send a different swag item each time. I've gotten a bunch of different things. This is the first time I've gotten one of these. Each time it's been a slightly different thing. It comes with a note from your community manager, which is nice. And so this is, if you were able to identify it, a wireless charger. And that's a useful thing to have. I'll probably set it up like in the living room or something so I can just set my phone down on it and it can slowly charge while I'm doing other things. Welcome to everybody in the live chat. I see mentioned Andrew's here, Craig's here, Julian's here. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know what you think about this week's updates. So I'm going to move on really briefly to Twitch. Now, as I've talked about previously, Twitch has a new DJ program, and the purpose of the DJ program is for streamers to be able to stream popular music legally. So if you join the DJ program, you can use popular music, it's licensed, and that means the music folks get a cut. So if you're monetizing on Twitch, and you join the DJ program, a cut of your earnings go to license the music. And Twitch is apparently offsetting this amount of money to start out with. I should say it's subsidizing this. But they said that the subsidy is going to be phased out. So people, of course, are curious, what amount of money are you talking about here? And Zach Busey, who I hope I'm saying his name correctly, he's got a really useful newsletter about Twitch updates. If you want all the nitty-gritty about Twitch, he's the person I go to learn about those things. Anyway, he basically crowdsourced this information because Twitch doesn't actually share what revenue cut the music folks get Probably because it varies some depending on the music and, how many people are watching your streams and so forth. But he crowdfunded this, he crowdsourced this and found out, this is a spoiler, it's roughly 30%. It varies a lot. So this is actually a pretty big chunk of money that gets taken out of your revenue if you're in the DJ program. Again, Twitch is subsidizing this to start, but that is only temporary. And there are some other limitations to the DJ program as well. For example, you can't have your video be video on demand afterwards. You stream and once the stream is done, it's done. I assume those are music industry requirements. So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit now to talk about AdSense for content. Now, this is AdSense for your own website. And as you may know, in the US, there are different online privacy regulations in each state. It'd be much better if there was some sort of federal law, but this is what we've got. So every state has different privacy regulations. Some don't have any at all. And you can go into your AdSense settings and set up messaging so that your website is in compliance with these privacy requirements. So if you set this up for California and someone from California visits your website, it will show the necessary messaging. And they just announced that they are adding 3 new states, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. That is in addition to California, Colorado, Connecticut, Virginia, and Utah. And you can access these privacy settings for your ads in your AdSense account. Go to the Privacy and Messaging tab and then click on Managing the US state regulations. And you can see the messages you've created there. This is important because if you have already set up messaging for one of your websites, you need to go into your settings and enable the messaging for these additional states. If you set up a new message, by default, it shows it to all the states that have the privacy requirements. But if you have existing messaging, you need to update that. So that's a task for you. I'm not sure the new states are available yet or if it's still rolling out, but you should check this out if you have your own website monetized with AdSense. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit here and talk about Google search. Now, you may remember that at the beginning of the year, Google removed the option to see the cache of a web page that turns up in the Google search results. So it used to be you could do a Google search and then check the option to see the cache site. So you basically could look at the version of the web page that Google indexed. And this can be useful for doing research if sites are taken down or looking at other sites that come up in search and seeing what Google is seeing on those pages. But they removed that option. This week, though, they added an option to view sites in the Internet Archive. The Google Search Liaison posted this. They say, we know many people, including those in the research community, value seeing previous versions of web pages when available. So this is what they're doing, basically adding a link to the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. To access this, though, it's a lot of steps. So if you do a Google search, you then need to click the 3-dot icon next to the search results, I'm doing this for my website because I know what it's supposed to look like. And then you get a menu that comes up and you need to click more about this page. And then on the more about this page, you need to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Some sites have more information than others. And at the very bottom, there's a link that says see previous versions on Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. Now, the Internet Archive is not part of Google, it's a third-party site, and the Wayback Machine is just what it sounds like. It has archived web pages. You can submit web pages to be archived. You can block them from archiving if you don't want them to do that. But I think it's important to note that not every web page is archived there, and some web pages may not have been archived recently. When I did this for my own site, this is for the home page. This is what it looks like, the Internet Archive. It was actually last archived on September 13th, so just a few days ago, which is kind of surprised me. That's really recent. But deeper links, individual post pages probably have not been archived recently, if they're archived at all. I do occasionally submit pages into the Internet Archive just to have a copy there. I think it's useful. I don't think it hurts anything. You can have it also index the links on the pages that you submit. So this is useful if you're doing research, you want to see sites, but not every site has a page in the Internet Archive. Checking around, for example, YouTube channels that turn up in the search results, I couldn't get a link to the Internet Archive from any of them. I assume Google has actually blocked that. The same is with X. If you look at the X profile, I'm not seeing a copy in the Internet Archive for that. It may be available for some, but not others. So it's useful, but not as good as when Google actually showed the cached version that they are storing on their own servers. So I want to mention that if you want to get all of the links and details and news for this week, you should check out this week's blog post or subscribe to my newsletter. That is totally free, and you can get my newsletter at peggyktc.beehive.com. It comes into your inbox every Saturday. It's got all the links and updates. And so again, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. And as you probably are aware, Bluesky is having a moment. Bluesky is a sort of Twitter alternative, and it got literally millions of new users from Brazil over the past couple weeks. That's because X was banned in Brazil, and those folks wanted someplace new to go. There's also been apparently a big uptick of Brazilian users on Threads and on Tumblr and a bunch of other sites as well. And so Bluesky, huge influx of users, and this week they launched the option to upload and share videos. This is actually huge. A lot of people want to share videos natively, not just a link to YouTube or whatever platform. And it seems to work pretty well, even though they apparently needed to adjust their servers for the amount of traffic and video being served. So the limitations are that the videos can only be up to 60 seconds long. They support most video file types, so MP4, MPEG, WebM, and .mov video files. By default, the videos automatically play. If you're a Bluesky user, you can go into your settings and turn off automatic playment. Playment? playing. You can attach subtitles. You can upload up to 25 videos or 10 gigabytes of video every day. And the videos need to be legal content, but that means you can actually upload videos with legal adult content in them. So I don't know if you've got sexy videos, you can upload them to Bluesky. I don't know how much of an audience you'll find there, but that is a pretty neat update and something that people have been wanting for a while. I feel like there's all these interesting things happening on Bluesky, even though it doesn't have a huge user base. Their user base is, I don't know, something like maybe 4 or 5 million people, which is not that much compared to Threads or X, but it seems like a pretty passionate user base there. So that's pretty interesting. So I have just a couple of more updates. Let's see. The first thing I wanted to mention is about Meta. So Meta is the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Messenger. And they are trying really hard to figure out how to label AI-generated content. And there has been a lot of pushback from photographers at how they've been doing it, because what they've been doing is looking at the metadata of images, and if it indicates, oh, AI edited or generated, they put an AI label. The problem with that is that it was not distinguishing between a photo that might just have, a few pixels edited with the AI tools in Photoshop versus an image that is created entirely by AI. So they've tweaked what they're doing again. If they determine the image or video that people uploaded is just edited, they have an AI info label, but they put it inside the menu for the post and the image. If it's completely AI generated, then the AI info is more prominent and people see it. They don't have to go into the menu to see the label. Maybe this is better, but I think the biggest problem we have right now is that there's tons of completely fabricated AI content that isn't labeled at all because Meta is relying on these metadata labels, and you can bypass that by just taking a screenshot and posting the screenshot or using a tool that doesn't add those metadata labels. So they have not figured this out, and I don't think it's an easy thing, because where do you draw the distinction between something that just has a short edit by AI versus wholly generated by AI? There's actually a whole spectrum where you might remove, a tiny little thing in the background, but what if you remove a person? Or what if you remove a building or add clouds or something like that? Should that be labeled? And I think there's a philosophical discussion there as well as a technical one. So they're still working on this. They're still trying to figure it out. I'm not sure any platform has figured this out. So let me see how we're doing on time. Oh, 10:53 my time. We're doing pretty well. Just a couple really brief updates. One is for Google Meet. If you use Google Meet for video calling, you might be interested that there is now a team viewer integration. This allows you to have remote access to someone's computer. It's used for tech support a lot. Now there's an integration with Google Meet, so you can just do that from right inside your Google Meet video call. This is free for Google Meet. It's available to free accounts, Google Workspace accounts. TeamViewer itself is not free. You can have a 30-day trial and then you have to pay for it. The last thing I wanted to mention is an update for NotebookLM. Let me put that link up on the screen. It's notebooklm.google.com. This is experimental, but it's a pretty neat tool where you can upload your own documents, PDF files, and so forth. And you upload them into a notebook, and then you can ask the AI tool to create a summary, create an overview. This latest update is something that's, I think, is maybe a little weird. So you can now have it create an audio overview of the content. Now that isn't that surprising or that odd, right? It's creating a text overview, but the audio overview is like a podcast, kind of. This is how Google describes it. With one click, two AI hosts start up a lively deep dive discussion based on your sources. They summarize your material, make connections between topics, and banter back and forth. You can download the conversation and take it on the go. I tried it. It's really kind of wild to have this AI bantering. Is this something I want or need in a summary of documents? I don't think so, but it's actually kind of a fun thing to play with. Some people have mentioned, oh, look, you could actually create an automated podcast with this, upload the documents that you want to talk about, have it generate a summary, have it create the AI overview, the AI audio overview, and download the audio and upload it to your podcast, and there you go. I'm not sure this is necessarily a good thing, and it's all kind of a little odd, but what do I know? Maybe I'm just a Luddite. So those are the big updates for this week. Again, all of the updates are in this week's blog post and in my weekly newsletter. Subscribe to the newsletter, read the blog post. It is linked in the video description. And I will see all of you next week. Thanks again for joining me. It's good to see you in the discussion. And I will mention that in about 15 minutes, there's another live stream I'll be on the On eBoard channel. We're going to have 3 tech tips in 10 minutes. And there will be an automatic redirect there when I end the stream. I hope you can join us over there as well. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again next Sunday.